Hi viewers, welcome to NCKHUB. If you like our videos, kindly do subscribe and follow us. Thank you.
Today we are going to discuss about Azure Blob Storage. Hi all, welcome once again, and I hope you have gone through our previous video about Azure Storage, where we have discussed about multiple storage functionality or services under Azure. Those are available. Now we are going to create in today's session storage account and how can this blob storage can be created, and we can see a demo of upload an image file. So wait a bit, let's start creating Azure Blob Storage. It will be very interesting to you. Just try to understand. Blob Storage actually it is a Microsoft object storage solution in terms of servicing to the cloud, where you can do store any type of data, which can be image or a file or multiple types of services. Those will be used in different Python, Java, or Golang. Those service files you can do upload and manage via the objects. This is almost similar to a storage where we can create object service like S3, which we use in AWS. In the similar fashion, in Azure, we have a storage service from the Microsoft, which is optimized and to manage an unstructured data. This unstructured data particularly doesn't adhere any model or definition, which you can see such as binary data or text. You can do upload any type of file you want. This is again divided into multiple types of storages, where you can see first you need to create a storage account. Next, after that one, you have to maintain a container. Under the container, you can store multiple types of storage with no limit. And we have a blobs in container. Those blobs are again divided into blocks, append, and page blocks, where you can do manage block container with a maximum limit more than 20 TB bytes of data, and append there is no limit mentioned by the Microsoft. And for page blocks, you can do use 8 TB bytes of data storage you can do use. And similarly, every storage account needs to have, like we do in AWS, a storage account should have a unique name that can start from 3 to 60 characters. And you have to name it either in lowercase or uppercase with numbers, and you can do manage your storage account. So this is about types of blob storage. If we can discuss about what type of documents we can do upload. Example, if you can see, if you have a text file or a document which was provided by a developer, that image if you want to upload via the browser which you are using, portal.azure.com, from that you can do upload an image or a document, and you can distribute among your colleagues, or if they want to access, you can use these files to access in a distributed way. And if you want to check out any streaming data or audio, this also you can do maintain by uploading. And you can do manage and maintain storing data for backup, restore, and disaster recovery. Likewise, you can do use. And you can do store data for analyzing either on-premise or hosted service of Azure, you can do manage. So this is about Azure Blob Storage. So let's start talking about how to create a storage account and how to manage this account. Let me open Azure storage account. First, we need to create an Azure account. Let's go back to create an account. So if you can see, this is my Microsoft Azure account. From the home page of the menu, I am going to all services. From the services at my left hand side, if you can see, there will be a storage. Once if I click on storage, you can see there is a hybrid and edge storage, object file and block storage, and we have a storage migration, and we have additional storage as well. All these are sub-services under the storage service. So you can see inside the object file and block storage, if you can observe, there is a storage account. So we have to open this storage account. From the storage account, we need to manage an account to store the objects. We have to create a unique bucket name to manage the service. So first, if you can see, we need to have an account, which is a storage account. So let's start, click on create. While creating a storage account, you need to have a subscription that is mandatory. As this is service paid, and next you need to have a resource group. Next you have to name your storage account name. Example, if you can see, I am giving a test development version or a test version of blob account, which we can do manage and maintain. So example, if you can see guys, underscore hyphen, if I am providing and anything like this, it will throw an error. So better to manage, if you can see like this, if we can do arrange the characters limit, it will throw and uppercase, lowercase, all these details it will do provide. So likewise, you have to follow storage account name sequence. Name must be between 3 and 24 characters. So if you can see, you can do count the characters as well, where we have created all those characters. You can do distinguish and you can do manage and maintain. So this is the development blob I am creating. So with this one, I am going to add a naming sequence with a, well, just for a name sequence I have added, and I am going to create in the dev blob account with a 12 number and followed by the US East. So likewise hyphen, likewise you can do use anything and deploy to an extended zone. If we have any extended zone, those are multiple data centers where we can do have availability zones. Those if you want to maintain and manage, you can do check those extended zones as well, where you can do deploy this with multiple regions of availability, where you have to create certain AEZs, which is Azure extended zones you have to create. From there, you have to manage and maintain this. So here I'm not going to add anything. I'm selecting the US East region, and you have to select here primary service. For what service you are using, like Azure files or tables or queues or blob storage, for what is the reason you are creating. Even if you do not add this one, this is an optional, not mandatory. Next, you have to select this performance. We have here latest version of second V2, an account which manages where we have to select either premium or standard. This is mandatory, which we have to follow to perform the workness with respect to the response time of the application of the blob storage, which should work faster. You have to select either standard or premium. I am as of now with my account, I'm going with this one. And redundancy, you can do select security purpose. You have to follow this one. Immediate option to protect against data centers and failovers and basic protection. And also we have offerings which are with GRS and ZRS. These things you have to select as a redundancy. Definitely this has to be a mandatory. You need to select this one. Next, click on next. And when coming to the advanced, we have a TLS protocol, which is transport layer security, which version 2, if you are deploying any type of application with the latest, it should support as per the Microsoft norms, TLS version 1.2, HTTP or HTTPS, if you are deploying anything that needs to follow and append a certificate layer of authority, then you should follow these required level of network layer securities. You have to select this one. So next, coming to the hierarchical names. If you need any simple file transfer protocols, and if you want to adhere those policies, then this by default, it will be not available to you. Only when you enable the namespace of hierarchical namespace, SFTP will be available. This SFTP used in such a use cases, if you have a user entities or identities, those needs to be transferred or moved via the simple file transfer protocol SFTP. Like that, during those use cases, you can do use and enable SFTP. Similarly, if you have a cross account, like one account to another account, if you are moving your data from one storage to another storage within the same account, from one storage to another storage, one image to sending to another account or another storage service, then you will have to enable this one with the cross accounts. Next, you can check out this one. So I forgot to convey one more thing. We will be having a tier of service access tiers. In the previous session as well, we have discussed there will be hot, cool, and cold, three types of access tiers. Hot is the one frequently access the data, and every day we will be accessing the data in terms of required use cases of scenarios. Cool is the one infrequent. Rarely we do use in terms of sometimes like weekly to bi-weekly like that, and anytime monthly once or 2 months. Likewise, rarely if we do use means access the data, we will do select. So depending upon our use cases, if we want a backup or anything, depending upon your requirement, you can do select. But regularly we do manage hot access type. Regularly we do manage everyday scenarios means then pick up this one and select it. Next, if you have an endpoint, then definitely you should create one endpoint and you need to allow your networking. So example, if you can see here, this is a paid service. So, region you have to select. Next after this one, dev endpoint blob. For blob, you have to select. Storage service, you can do select blob. And virtual network, already we have created in our previous sessions, Azure VNet series, that is AZ series we can do select, and subnet also we will be having a default or anything whichever we are using. Example, if you can take this is the one and this is having a default subnet, then definitely this will be allowed, and private DNS, a DNS will be created. Then you have to click on OK. Next, if you want to make it available for all the people, the storage or the objects needs to be available, then you have to select enable public access from all the networks. If you want to use for security purpose privately, then disable this one. This is recommended for any working people. Regularly, they do manage their project activities. Disable public access so that other users won't be accessible our data. So this is securely private and you can do use it. Next, click on next. Next, if you want to check your soft delete, how many days of retaining the data. Usually by default, it will provide 7 days. And if you want any tracking, the versioning of this one, you have to enable. If you want any backup, then during that point of time, you have to enable this one. If you don't need, you can do disable. All these are related to the privacy. And if you want any customer managed keys or Microsoft managed keys, you have to select this encryption type. This encryption highly provides a very good amount of security to your objects. Suppose if you are working for a bank application, for that application, a end user or the customer's data is associated, or your code level structured data is appended or added to this object storage. Then it should not be exposed to outside. Then it should be in such a way that you have to protect it via certain managed keys. So there you have to create your customer managed keys and you have to enable it. At least you have to manage with Microsoft managed key if you are not creating customer managed keys. Then your account with the object all will be protected. Next, you have to provide any tags which you want to create. Next, review and create. Finally, you will get a preview to check the storage account, how it is going to get valid with all the details. So if you can see basic details, pay as on go service, resource group name, location, and the storage account name. Performance we have taken instead of a premium standard. Next, advanced level and security, if you can see secure transfer, we have enabled. Blob anonymous access disabled. So all storage account keys enabled. Default Microsoft Entra authentication. If we need Entra authentication, like in our project, if we are using like an identity, then already we have discussed in our previous sessions. If we want to attach our Entra ID, then we can do enable this and attach our Entra ID to this security layer. Only particular user can access within the layer of the service. Similarly, if we have a VPC private endpoint, not VPC, I'm going into the AWS, sorry. So if we have a network endpoint that we are connecting to the network connectivity. So already we have created an endpoint with our virtual network that we have mapped to here. So for that one, we have enabled if we are enabling data protection, you can see this how many days of data will be enabled. All this finally it is going to get create. So once we do click on create, a storage account with blobs where we can do maintain container, tables, queues, whatever we want to manage our services by uploading an image or a document or a file, our code related like Python, Java, or C Sharp, .NET, anything which you can do easily upload it by going into the services, sub-services under the storage of account which you have created. Next, after this one, if you can see deployment as of now, it is in progress. So as of now, the deployment is going on with the development blob 12, which I have created, and it is in progress, which is being created. So if you can see, the account has been created and it is been associating with the default storage details and private endpoints it is trying to create as of now. So once this is created, we will get the tree view of all the overview services of a storage account which we have created. So let's wait for it and have a quick look all the details what after the account is created. So let me refresh this. Now if you can see deployment is completed. If we want to have a quick look at all the details, these are the details which it was created. Now we will go to the resource. So this is the development blob which we have created. So it's just now it's loaded. So now if you can see at the left hand side of the storage account which I have created, now you can see containers, file storage we can see, and also queue and tables. All these we have discussed in our previous session of theoretical part where what are the different types of storage under Azure those are available. We have gone through a theoretical presentation. Now today we are going to have a how to create a Azure account and how to upload a file or a image we are going to have a look. So now if you can see these are the details with location, performance standard, when it was created, and this will be having a data lake storage, file storage, and queue service and table service as well. All you can do have a quick look. So if you can see, this is the container storage. This is the file storage. If you want to upload a file, you can do easily upload. Similarly, queues. If you have any queue services, you can do upload. If you have table services, those tables also you can do upload. So let me go back. As of the tables, I have not been added or that is not accessible to me. So now, if we can check out our access keys, which is a Microsoft managed keys, which we have selected and trying to access that one means this is the key which we can do check it out. This key 1, key 2 will be available for this storage account now, which is this encryption purpose we have created this one. So what is the encryption we have selected? If you can recall, Microsoft managed keys we have selected. So this is the encryption key details and this is the networking. So if you want to monitor this one, you have to go to the Azure Insights. From there, you can do monitor your blob storage account. The way you have created, it will be showing the availability transactions, whatever it is happening. This is the transactions by storage, transactions by API name, like this live viewability you will be getting. Similarly, number of transactions, end-to-end latency, server latency, all these details will be available for you for the storage account which you have created. So let's quickly upload a container object. So if you can see here, right at the middle page of you can add a container, new container. If you want to create a container, blob container, you can create multiples. As I said, there is no limit. And it is anonymous access is there. If you want to go through the encryption access with scope, you can do select this one and enable version if you want. You can create a container. Under the container, you can do upload your object or file or storage services, anything. So here what you have to do is you have to go like this. So example, this is a private secured we have created. So that's the reason, if you can see, that is as of now security wise we have not added. So now I will take you to my previous bucket. So if you can see, request is not authorized to perform request ID. Accounted virtual networks may be blocking. Can you see this one? I have selected a firewalls of virtual network private security. Previously in our session, we have created a private network. That private network we have attached to this blob container. Now I will take you to a different public access container storage that I will do showcase you. Let me go back to my blob storage accounts, and instead of this one, this is the one which we have just created. Now I will take you to the blob 1112. So if you can see here, left hand side, I'm going to click on containers. So if you can see here, I am going to create a container now. The networking which you can see here, this is a public networking. So from here you can do create. Why? Because enabled from all networks. Can you see? This is the option. But for this private, I have enabled while creating this. That's the reason. And that too, that is having a complete endpoint security connection. It is not allowed from all the networks. Hence the reason it is giving forbidden, which is not accessible. Now, if I can go back to my container of data storage, from here I can do create a container storage with blob 12. So I can create it. So let me do open this one. This is the one which I just created. If I want to add a directory, so I can create a directory container one. So directory has been created. So under this one, like this folders, if I want to check it out, all these details I can do upload if I want to add anything. So I don't want to upload, I want to go back. So I will just go back to the containers once again. I will come back. So if you can see, this is the storage which I have created. Now if I want to upload an object, so suppose I'm trying to upload an image. So if you can see, there are multiple services here. I'm uploading one image here. So if you can see, if a file is already exists, you can do upload, override it and upload it. Now I am uploading one image. So this is an image which is there with just 78 KB of data. So this is the way how we can do upload and manage our objects. Under the containers, we can do create a container directory. Likewise, similarly, if we have tables, queues, we can do manage and modify any type of services storage. These storage can be easily accessible in our project among our peers or colleagues. If we are working inside a project, they will easily access the object storage. So that's it in our session. So just to wrap it up, we have discussed today about Azure Blob Storage as part of continuation session of our previous storage account service. Today we have created a storage account with private network and also public account which was previously created. How we can do manage and upload an object we have seen. And finally, we have seen overall Azure monitoring, further specified account which we have created that we can do monitor how many objects, performance, end to end. Like these monitoring services also we have seen. And we have seen Microsoft managed keys, key 1, key 2, and encryption keys. All these part of blob storage we have covered this session today. I hope this is very useful for you and helpful for you as a fresher. And this basic demo gives a good clarity to you how to create a blob storage account. Thank you for watching and have a happy learning. If you like our videos, kindly please do subscribe and follow us to get a more content and new content which is helpful for you like this. Thank you.